continuation on really Dharma talk on praising. When obtaining skill because a person begged or asked, politely agreed to teach, and agreed on what it is that will be offered for that teaching in person, the usually based on tutoring, teaching starts. Each time the person fails, the other one does not cheer up. And when person does achieve similar progress, a person is not praised. The reason for that is that person has to be interested in gaining skill. If that person is not interested in gaining skill but cheering up and obtaining feel good, then that is not the skill that that person came for, but he needs to go, let's say, spend some time with, for example, a pet, or watch a movie, or whoever it is that creates such demand somewhere else, that is the person that can provide that person attention and love. Otherwise, that is not what that person wants. And if student like that was accepted, that student has to be thanked and leave. No need is a prerequisite to accept a disciple or a student. Meaning a person needs to be interested in gaining skill, and reward for self is everything, as if a person was alone. Meaning, if I have a nun in front of me and each time I managed to stand on 4 fingers, I rejoice that I can do similar to her. And it is her joy then that I rejoice, because I on her face see that I was happily accepted. Being happily accepted means a person takes pride later on, or feels relief because someone took over the task that she was doing, which is strong fingers for instance, fighting or grabbing. And that is something that is a reward, because the person can not use that skill and rest and do something else or work on another skill. That is then not necessarily to be that the person has another skill that the other that can offer to one, but it can be such agreement that one exchanges with the other certain skill. That is to know that the person needs to come interested, and that person who is there has to have superiority that that other one sought because of, and being there is sure that skill in the person, not the person itself, is an object of interest. That does not mean that the person is not interesting. Many of us, when we arrive to a place where the person who has skill of interest, such as Buddhist psychology, we arrive and we want to learn. We want to learn everything. We want to learn how people eat, how people drink, how people sit, how people smile, how people use restrooms, and how much do they wash. We want to learn all, because we want to know how they made that happen, failing at it for years like I did, doing it myself. Which is what I was provided by first Sifu Diantan from the Chiang Tai Zen Center of Houston. And then mostly also by Sifu Dian from the same place, and as well as Sifu Dian-san, who left, and another Sifu whose name I don't remember, who left. And Diangong Shifu as well, who was also my teacher, and many other disciples who were there and who showed me, especially a person named Jennifer, who was a senior disciple, as well as persons who were there, Marcella, who showed me many things, and another person whose name I forgot. There were persons who really important a lot of knowledge, especially for instance as this woman Marcella, to me, Patricia as well, that helped, and two other disciples, Carrie, that another disciple, senior one, and her friend Alfie, that as well. A lot of I've learned from persons who were more American and Caucasian, like white, like I. That was Ewan, who was the person who was a PhD student in public health, and he was very advanced in his discipleship in a university of Baylor as well. So we managed to, for instance, do a decent job promoting having a kitchen and cleaning what we had at first, because it was nice. He had knowledge. It was nice to clean with a person with such degree of insight on microorganisms, and that was a good tip. What I'm saying is that I've learned from them praising system, and why it is that we are blocked or become clumsy, and over there the skills for all seem to develop and blossom. That in front of 5 or 10 persons, suddenly there is no fear, and whatever that it is that I've learned, I remember and can present and benefit all, and everybody rejoices, and vice versa. And that is because the understanding that me at best and others at best, it benefits one another, promotes communication, and that is a very nice international community. And that, of course, has many other aspects of racism and things that I do not like guarding certain knowledge for others and then people bragging about it, and also strange personal relationships that seem to be a bit controversial and based on assumption that the others, one or the other, wants to do harm, which is not nice. But or that we do not have the same interest in things. But that is a long story. But the no need system is important, because again, if that is that I prefer to do something else, I will take up something else and do something else. When offered to learn to stand on 4 fingers, for example, with a new master unknown, if that is that I seek after for approval or smiles or feel good, then I already feel that I am being criticized, or I am being under pressure, or other persons count on my performance to base on it their reputation without introspection. Which meditation, that inner observation and self-approval in this regard to others without alike or unlike another, being white does not offend a person being black unless we try to harm one another, which is never the case, because universe expands when we do, and vice versa. And so praising system is to be left aside for politeness, for conversations that are on a personal basis, and with a person that is being trained, that is skipped. It is skipped to be able to do what that person arrived as soon as possible, and have that person satisfied and even incredibly amazed with the degree of proficiency that that person achieved. And that is first even in strength, that the person uses those other 4 fingers to do the same and stand on them on the floor, as if at the same time mirroring, and then the other person leaves slowly and lets go until the person is able to stand on these 4 fingers without the master, and or later on with others disturbing, which then is famous for them surprising, entering suddenly, or creating some sort of a distraction to see how good that is already obtained, to be able to be used to whatever it is that it is meant to be used. 2 fingers, for instance, what I can come up with is sustaining, for instance, on a building, hanging like this to pull oneself up, if climbing a surface to save someone up very high, or also sustaining something that is heavy, like a metal pole to build something. Is there a need to say you are holding very nicely a pole? No, that is why we condition it, because otherwise person stands there and says, well, but you didn't see that I am doing it well, so should I drop it off and get offended instead of building a building? Well, no, you should know that there's the skill that will allow you to build the building for yourself. And that's what it is about. So then when the disciple says thank you, the master says no need. No need, because that is what that person rejoices. The smile and the joy is from having that finished, performed, delivered, and over as a performance to prove that that person has now superiority. Preferably master, I'm at superiority, which means the person left to go to the world comes back with new teaching. Now is the point made of alabaster in which I've realized my student is the master, which means the student who was let out comes back and he has for me my knowledge, but tried in so many different environments and places that that knowledge now for me is news, and I have to analyze and I readjust everything for my benefit, which is what is progress about, and distribution of medicine. And we watch videos when provided for free as kindness, even, you know. That is why, to others also. That is why. And so that no need is important. When persons feel, as in therapy or in personal relationships, that person wants to have a break and be said something nice, like at least today you've done something good, that is when that you look nice, or thank you for cooking or doing something routinely, is nice. However, deep praising, how good that you've managed to even today move that finger a little bit. Wow, it is kind of like talking to a person who is own child, and that irritates even all of persons that person waived as personal relationships to teach because of the personal relationships with the other one.